Today I have the pleasure of speaking with our top-ranked columnist, Jack Lifton. How are you today, Jack?
I'm fine, Tracy. How are you?
I'm very good. I guess the first thing I want to bring up with is, I know I'm getting a lot of emails about your so-called negative outlook on Molycorp and Linus, and I think this would be a good opportunity for you to tell our readers what you tell me regularly, which is, of course, your concern for the other non-Chinese companies.
Right. That's exactly it. The thing is I'm really not looking at the share price volatility. What I'm looking at is how this reflects on customer. It's a reflection of customer satisfaction. That's the driver for a company's survival, not its share price. And what I mean by that is, as long as Molycorp cannot deliver to its customers the quality or quantity required, it's losing its place in any future of non-Chinese production. This has happened to Linus also. Linus is not producing to its stated capacity, and it does have customers who are already concerned about not getting the quantities they want. So what we have here is the non-Chinese world's largest producers by capacity are failing to meet the test of customer satisfaction. That is going to be fatal unless it can be cleared up. And since the investment community only looks at these companies, Molycorp in particular, as the bellwether for the industry, everybody's getting a bad rap. And yet, it's very different things going on. The juniors that aren't producing should not be judged by how well they produce. They're not doing that yet. The ones who are producing must be judged by that. So what I'm saying is, I certainly don't want either one of those companies to fail, but I want them to succeed in the real marketplace by having satisfied customers. That's all, the only reason I talk about it.
Of course, I've noticed there's been a media outfall already to what's happened since the teleconference with Molycorp. There's obviously a lot of confusion with the media trying to understand this complex topic, and they're crediting Molycorp with producing a number of rare earths that they actually don't even produce. Can you talk to me a little bit about how we as a group and an industry as a whole can draw more attention or maybe simplify this sector?
Tracy, I remember 5 years ago you told me the issue in the rare earth space was education of the investor community as to what exactly rare earths were, how they're used, how they're produced, in an ordinary way. Unfortunately, this doesn't seem to have occurred. Some of our mainstream media still do not understand that rare earth deposits are all different from one another, and the fact that you might want something to have heavy rare earths a deposit like Mountain Pass, but it does not. And this is not a secret. It's not intended to be deceptive. It's a light rare earth deposit, maybe one of the world's largest. I don't know what to do to inform mainstream media that not all rare earth companies are the same. That's the real problem in the market. Molycorp does something, they assume it has the same effect on all rare earth companies, juniors and producers. This is not correct.
And stepping outside of Molycorp for just a second, let's talk about what's happening in China and the impact on rare earth prices and demand around the world. I've personally been discussing how I see an increased pressure on rare earth prices and seeing the demand rising, for instance, in many of the permanent magnets like terbium, for instance, and dysprosium. Can you talk to me a little bit about your global perspective on where we are right now in the market?
Well, it's clear to me that what we all hoped wouldn't happen until the time that there was some non-Chinese production has already occurred. China itself is short of what you're calling magnet metals, neodymium, praseodymium, terbium, and dysprosium. This is causing pressure naturally, and we're hearing from the Chinese themselves that prices are now entering an aggressive up phase. Well, that's called supply and demand. Even though in the past many people have decided that supply and demand law is accepted for the rare earths, it is not. The problem here is simple. The largest user of rare earths in the world is China. Happens also to be at the moment the largest producer. If the largest user and the largest producer in the world is short of something, it means there isn't any. This is the time for junior rare earth companies to go forward, for people to just have some faith, because the demand is there and it's not going away. China's coming out to the Western world looking for material. So it's time for us to step up to the plate.
Jack, thank you so much for joining us today. I look forward to a follow-up and talking to you on a weekly basis.
Oh, good, good. Me too.